down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden. Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.
Okay. Very good evening to all of you, my good friends and relatives, and those of you who are waiting there for us to come on board. Welcome to our program once again. And this time it's in the month of December, the second day of December in the year of 2021. And it's almost over. 2021 thing is almost gone. And we're soon enough going to be in 22, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be an end to what is really happening since 19. Anyhow, life goes on, and we have got to, continue to do what we got to do. Those of us who are here, and even those of us who are somewhere else. We all have got to do what we have to do, and hope that whatever it is that is happening is gonna pan out very soon. I anticipate sometime next year, God's willing, that people are gonna have to do something about ending this. I'm saying that because in many countries across the world, persons are frustrated, they're fed up, they're tired, they're disgusted, they're just ignoring a lot of things now, and they don't care. It's happening in many places, and it's going to happen in your backyard very soon. Believe it or not, you can't help it, because people are humans, and they are only going to take this for so long. Anyhow, welcome to our program once again, and we probably have two more programs before. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. Let me see. We're moving right along with whatever we have to do, and you know what happens this time of the year, right? I would normally give out the recipes for or the cake, the cake and cake in the pepper pot and the garlic chunks, right? So I'm giving you warning that you need to get your pens and your paper and your pencils, and what's going to happen is my operator is going to she's gonna make it big for you so you could see it clearly, and you'll be able to, put it together yourself and make your own thing. Um, I know for a fact that when I make it, it comes out just the way I want it. But I've known others who tried it, even with the same formulas, and it wasn't ready for me, and I couldn't use it. But maybe they were happy with it. But you know what? Everybody got their own way of their final touches, and we do things a little differently, and it may come out a little different. But none of us are the same. And I can give you the same directions to go someplace. You may get there, but you may get there with all sorts of things. It's like the same recipes. I give you the recipes, and you do it, and it doesn't really come out the same way, right? But that's just how life is, and we just have to accept it and move on. I want to give you a little top up of the recipe today, and then my operator is going to do something nice for you, and she's going to have it up the next maybe the next program. She's not done somehow, so you can have it to practice making it. But I tell you what, when you make them right, you don't miss nothing. It's really good. And it's kind of late now for, it's not really late for the garlic chunks. I call it garlic chunks, but it's garlic pork. We use pork, but I don't like to. I have a friend who always talks about pork this and pork that. She teases me with the pork because she knows I don't indulge. So she teases me with that, but it's garlic chunks, not garlic pork, right? But you can call it what you want. Okay? I wanted to mention this thing, but I'm fed up with this myself, this corona business. But there's a new strain that said, a new virus that's called Omicron. And, I call it Omicron, right? Omicron, because it's nothing but a con. This whole thing, because of the way it's going and the way it went, when you look back at it, it looks like it's some game that was being played and people were being used as pawns. And I mean, people are dying, yes, and some people are, how come these people are dying? Well, people are going to probably die anyhow. But maybe because their immune system got weaker and got exposed, and the bodies couldn't handle it, then it probably cropped out, and hard give out or something. But I want you to know that we've had some really, really, really interesting discoveries in the last month, the entire month of November. I was watching it, and I was analyzing it, and I was assessing it, and keep seeing the same thing over and over. And I know people said it, and it sounded right, but I am seeing people who are vaccinated and people who are not vaccinated. I can almost tell you what's in the vaccines. I'm not kidding you. Because when I screen people who are vaccinated, I'm seeing all sorts of viruses in them. This is no joke. I'm seeing all kinds of viruses. And when I screen people who are not vaccinated, who are associated with these people who are unvaccinated, I am seeing the same viruses in these people. For instance, couples being in the same house, one vaccinated, one not vaccinated, right? The one who was not vaccinated, when I screened him the last time, he hardly had any problems with anything. And no big story with viruses. He had a couple of things small. 1 month later, when his spouse or her spouse was vaccinated, maybe 2 months before or a month, before and all that, they're living in the same house, the same things. I am seeing the exact viruses in the vaccinated, and I'm seeing it in the unvaccinated. This is no joke. I'm seeing all the viruses, and it's not 1 or 2 or 3, it's a whole bunch of them that I'm seeing in the vaccinated. I've seen that already, but now I'm seeing it in the unvaccinated one. So it appears to me that those who are unvaccinated are transferring their viruses into those who are unvaccinated. That's my findings, and I have the device to tell me. I'm seeing it, right? Those who are vaccinated are transmitting what they have in them into those who are unvaccinated. So, this thing about the vaccinated need to be careful with the unvaccinated, I agree with that. But the vaccinated need to be careful of what they transmit into the unvaccinated. And I think these people are well aware of what is happening. They have to be, because they're the ones, they're the scientists. They have to be aware of the fact that what is in people. And just use your simple common sense. If someone has a cold, flu, if someone has the flu, and they're living in a house with you, simple, simple reasoning, and they're coughing and they're sneezing, maybe they're talking to you, whatever it is, whatever they have, that virus that they have in them, it's going to be in the air. And you're right there. So if you're exposed, your immune system is weak, you're not covering, you're not protected in any way, you're going to be exposed to whatever it is that they have. And within a couple of days or 3 days, there's an incubation period, maybe sometimes 5 days, 10 days. Next thing you know, you're coming down with the same thing. It happens all the time. So if that can happen with the common flu, which is one of the viruses, why would it not happen with all of the other ones? But in this case, whatever viruses are inside of the vaccine that are into the people who are vaccinated, when they transmit, when they speak, when they spew, whatever it is that is in them, in their saliva, will be transmitted to the other person who is exposed that is not protected. So what does it tell me? It tells me, my friends, that I don't care if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, wear a mask that is safe around everyone in your family. It's really funny, but it's true, because the families are transferring into the other ones who are not, right? So you got people sharing things now. Vaccinated sharing to the unvaccinated, and the unvaccinated who pick it up sharing to the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. So soon enough, you're gonna have an epidemic. Here is my reasoning. Omicron. This is my reasoning. There is no way that you can transmit anything from nothing. Think about what I'm saying. There is no way, if you have nothing, that you can transfer something. It's like a bank account. All right? We're going to reason today. I'm reasoning with you guys. I want you to open your brain, your mind, your common sense. And don't be a fool. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep with a shepherd leading you wherever you want you to go. Open your brains and start thinking. If you have a bank account, I don't care which bank it is. It could be Bank of America, could be Scotia Bank, could be Republic Bank, could be any bank. You have a legitimate account. In your account, you have zero, no dollars. No dollars. Okay? You want to transfer something to somebody. Somebody got a problem and you want some money to transfer to them. Right? You got a bank account. This bank account has no money inside, zero. But you want to transfer something to somebody who needs a little help. So you go to your bank account and you're transferring now, trying to transfer money to that person. You think you could transfer anything? You got nothing, so you can't transfer anything. You understand what I'm saying? If you have nothing in you, you cannot transfer anything to someone else. You have to have something in you to transfer to somebody else, to become, for that person to become a beneficiary of whatever you're transferring. So here's my point, here's my reasoning. These people who are vaccinated with all kinds of viruses in the vaccine, when they go and they speak to someone who's not vaccinated, this is like a bank account. But this bank account is loaded. They got a vaccine in them. This vaccine is loaded. When they go and make contact with these people, they're transferring now what is inside of them to the people who have nothing. Just like the experience, the little example I give you, now this person whose bank account with some money inside can transfer to someone else who don't have. So the unvaccinated is out there and have nothing wrong with them going about their business. Here comes someone who's vaccinated with all of these viruses in them. When they make contact with that person, guess what's going to happen? They're going to transfer from them, from what is in them, whatever it is they have, into the person who's there with nothing inside of them. So we're talking about mutating, we're talking about other strains of viruses. When you have all of these things inside of you that were injected in you, my friends, they're compounded now, all together now in one body. What do you think is going to happen? That's a stronger something now that they have than what they had before. Maybe before they only had corona, and they got rid of the corona. Now they got vaccinated, right? Now they got plus, plus, plus. When they come out there, they're coming out with pluses. So you're going to have more stronger viruses in the environment, because now it's not just what they had inside of them. It is what they had inside of them plus what is injected in them. This is where the variants are coming from, in my estimation. You can't have variant become a variant without nothing out there. You gotta have something to become a variant. And you can only become a variant by boosting or becoming stronger. Some way you're becoming stronger. So a person can transmit something stronger than the basic virus that they had before, because now they're loaded with other things. Simple reasoning, my friends. So I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do, I don't care where you go, I don't care how smart you are or how smart you think you are. Common sense is common sense. Basic reasoning tells me that you have to keep your immune system enhanced beyond all of them viruses. You gotta double and triple your doses of what you take in to enhance your immune system. Soon enough, I bet you they're gonna come out with some immune enhancement pill. They're already coming out with a pill to cure the coronavirus. But now, you plan to cure coronavirus, and then you got Omicron or Omicron that's coming out, it's out there, that's probably gonna take over the whole world just now. And then there'll be something else after that. Because when you take a booster, as they say, you gotta take a booster, you're gonna boost whatever it is and add more. You're gonna add more of whatever it is that you have in there, plus what's coming from the booster. So now when you spew, you're spewing out the virus that you had before. You're spewing out everything that came into you with the vaccine, plus you're spewing out with the booster. You're gonna have another variant. Because the people's immune system is not being talked about. So when they start spewing again, it could be another variant, another virus, another strain, another something, and they're going to keep going like a vicious circle. Another booster, because we got something else. Another booster. Nonsense. Immune enhancement is what we should be doing. If we seriously care about overcoming and getting rid of these things, you've got to look at what do I do about my immune system? And I'm screening people who are not vaccinated. It has nothing in them. No flu, no virus, no corona. And I'm seeing it every day. Just like I'm seeing every day the other ones who got that transmitted. I'm seeing every day those who don't have and have not anything that's out there. And what are they doing? All they're doing is building their immune system beyond the norm. That's all they're doing. When you talk to them, oh doc, all I'm doing is taking this, I'm taking more of that, I'm doing more of this or that. And listen, every time there's a strain that comes along, a new variant, as they say, you keep building one more time, a little higher. Every time a variant comes out, build a little higher, because you need to have your barrier set beyond the viruses that are coming out there. You understand what I'm telling y'all? Listen to my stupidness. Don't bother with them people who say, oh, doctor, you're talking nonsense. Don't bother with them. They're in left field. They don't know what's going on. Most of the people who are there directing what to do with this virus don't know what's going on. They don't take the time to study it. All they're doing is following like sheep. That's all. They got a shepherd saying, do this, take that, and all they're doing is following. I'm telling you, immune system, build it. Build your immune system. Unless you want to become a prey or a victim, build your immune system. Because listen, many of you have hypertension, diabetes, HIV, cancer, all sorts of things, pneumonia, bronchitis, tuberculosis. And your immune system needs to be enhanced because you are compromising yourself. Eat proper meals. Go back to farming and planting in your backyards. You got to do it. Get tires, get pots, get drums, get buckets. Put soil inside. Plant your own food. Plant food instead of planting plants that look good in your yard. Either you plant herbs like peppermint and lemongrass and so, or you plant food. Corilla and boro and cabbage and same and lettuce and tomatoes. You plant things that can nourish you. Don't worry them fancy plants in the yard. They can't get nothing. You don't eat them. Plant what can feed you. Plant what can feed you. Plant what can nutrify you. Plant what can nourish you. Because many of you are malnourished. You're deficient. We have the device now that tells us what you're deficient in. It tells us all of that. If your blood count is low, if your pressure is high, if you got diabetes, you got hypertension, you got cancer, you got AIDS, you got whatever, you got corona, you got all these viruses. I know, let me tell you this. I almost tell people all the time what vaccine they got. Because not all the vaccines got the same ingredients. They don't. They don't. Some are very common. Yes, Pfizer and Moderna, they're very common. Maybe the J&J too, some of what they all two those have. They're very common. But the J&J has a little variant. The Sputnik, totally different. I can tell when people get Sputnik as a vaccine. I can look and I can tell. I see what is there, and I can almost tell you what's in the Sputnik. I can tell you what's in the Pfizer and Moderna. I see them. Believe it or not, I see what's inside. I see it. Funny. I'm not supposed to, but I do. So, well, we got that out of the way. I want to, I talked about the recipe thing, and I'm going to give you one of them today. Today, I'm going to give you the pepper pot recipe, right? The veggie pepper pot recipe, okay? So, here, half pound of chunks, chicken or beef, whatever you like. 1 tin of vegetable steak, and 1 tin of chocolates. You don't have to get that. You can get the chunks, and you can get your bean curd as you get them. You can get your seeds from your bread nut. Pepper pot is not. It depends on what you want to be in the pepper pot, right? What makes the pepper pot is the casrip and the spices, right? You're going to get your casrip, 1 ounce of spice or cinnamon, half ounce of clove. You're going to get some orange peel, maybe 1 orange peel, 1 ounce of star aniseed. That's the aniseed with the star, right? You get salt to taste, not much. Put them one side. These are ingredients that you put one side. You get some pepper that you're going to need. Okay? You're going to get some broadleaf thyme, but 6 leaves of broadleaf thyme. I love thyme in my pepper pot. I put more than 6 in my thyme. 1/4 ounce of fine leaf thyme. So you're going to get broadleaf and fine leaf. You're making pepper pot, right? You're going to get some coconut oil, or maybe some corn oil. A little bit of oil, maybe an ounce. And you're going to get some sea moss. Sea moss, you put it one side, right? The sea moss that is boiled, not the moss itself. but you want to boil it. It becomes like a gel. After it's cooled, you want to put that one side, and you want to get 2 pints of water, right? Now, what I do, you may need more than 2 pints of water because some people like the pepper pot to be like watery and, you know, thick water, right? Because it's bread you're using. Bread, bread soaks up a lot of moisture, a lot of water, right? So what you do, you would first take your dry ingredients, okay? You add them in your pot, right? Then you're gonna add your casrip. You're first gonna start with about maybe 2 ounces of casrip, maybe 3 ounces, right? 2 ounces of casrip, but then you add your spice, your clove, and your pepper and salt, right? You add your water, and you put that to simmer. You put that on the fire to simmer. You don't want to cook it fast because you're not gonna pressure nothing, right? In the other realm of things with pot, you gotta be pressuring all night. Pressure cooker going all night because you're pressuring some animal, right? You ain't doing no animal here. Okay? So you put those in the pot to simmer down nicely, and then you add your fine leaf thyme, your broadleaf thyme, and you keep tracking it because you will add your cashew to taste. Some people like the pepper pot a little sweeter than others, so you add your cashew to the texture, the taste that you want, and then when it is boiling and it's simmered down and everything soaks in, I normally would taste a piece of the chunks to see how it tastes like. I taste that and make sure it's got the flavor I need. If it doesn't have the flavor I need, I would add a little more spice, or I put in my aniseed. You add your aniseed, okay, your sea moss, and you allow that to simmer nice. Make sure all of your ingredients are in, and you simmer slowly and you let it cook. The sea moss normally thickens the pepper pot. I like it because, and here's the other thing, you're actually making a nutritional food, a nutritional meal, a nutritional condiment because you have all the good stuff in there, including sea moss, which is rich in amino acids and minerals and all that, right? So you're not making just food, you're making medicines. And the thing is, your food should be your medicines and your medicines should be your food. I like that. You understand? So when you simmer it down, you let it, I would let my pepper pot sit overnight in the pot, cover it down and leave it. Let everything soak in good. And then the next morning, I just turn it up, put on the fire, put the pot on there and let it simmer again, slowly, 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 until I can smell the scent of that pepper pot that I want. I crack the cover a little bit, and I'm looking for that scent that I would get. When your pepper pot is good, you can smell it. Seriously. There's some people when they cook pepper pot, it smells like you don't know what. But when you cook that pepper pot the way I'm telling you, the next morning when you put that pepper pot on, it smells like Christmas. It has that Christmas scent, and you just want to eat. You just want to eat it, right? But you experiment with that. And I'll go over the ingredients with you one more time. I'll start from the bottom. 2 pints of water, your sea moss, right? You would add sea moss to the texture you want, the thickness you want. Your oil, your 4 ounces of fine leaf thyme, your broadleaf thyme or 6 leaves, your pepper. You would add your pepper and your pepper to taste, to the heat that you want, right? Your salt, your star anise seed, 1 ounce, orange peel, 1 orange peel, half ounce of clove, 1 ounce of spice or cinnamon, your casrip, okay? Your half pound of chunks. You may put more if you want because if it's a big family, you put more of that. Put a pound, it doesn't matter. Your veggie steak, your choplets. And man, let me tell you, when that pepper pot is made right, there's nothing else like it. I'm telling you, right? So you don't have to be a meat eater to eat that. Many persons who eat our pepper pot are meat eaters. And when we finish with them on that, they don't go back to the meat. They don't want it. They don't taste the same way. So you have that. Next week, I'm going to give you another one. We have two others, the black cake and the the veggie garlic chops. Sorry. and drink juice. Does that. The veggie garlic chunks. You know what? I will tell you what to do with the veggie garlic chunks, because you need to get this soaked, right? The longer it soaks, the better it is. You want to get your half a pound of the veggie chicken and beef. I give it to you now. Half a pound of the veggie chicken and the veg beef chunks, right? I'm talking about chunks here. Half a pound of garlic, right? You want to grind the garlic up or blend it up. You had your vinegar. You would put this. You would soak the chunks down in a bucket or a pot and cover it with vinegar inside and put pepper inside and just leave it. Just leave it to stash it away in the cupboard and leave it, because it's not going to spoil and it's not going to rotten. And you want, what you want is that garlic to get into the chunks, right? You can put more garlic. The more, if you like more garlic, you put more garlic. But you want the garlic to get in the chunks, and the vinegar with the garlic sitting in there with the pepper. You want to put the pepper inside now, because you want all of that to kind of blend in, and you stir it every 2 days. You stir it. You're not cooking it. Just stir it and leave it. Just stir it and leave it. Cover it down and leave it. Right? And you would want to leave that until maybe Christmas Eve day. It doesn't matter, because the longer it stays, the better it gets. The longer it stays, the better it gets, because that is not how you're going to cook it, right? You're not going to cook it the way you soak it. Before you cook it, you have to take out the ingredients from the pot or the bucket and strain it. You want to get the vinegar out of it and squeeze it out of the meat as much as you can. Squeeze it out of the meat. Right? It would be nice and dandy, and you can look when it's done right. You can take out the meat and eat it just like that. Okay, but you're not gonna cook it as yet. You're just gonna squeeze it out. Then when you squeeze it out, make sure you got as much of it, the vinegar out of it as you want. Then you fry it up with more onions and garlic and broad leaf thyme and your fine leaf thyme. And you're not adding anything, no water, nothing. Just start frying it all the time. Let it cook, because it's going to be nice and dry, but tender and juicy. Right? You stir fry it, you keep turning it, you keep stir frying it. And when you know that it's finished, those of you who can cook, even if you can't cook, you will know this thing is finished, because when you smell it, it's going to smell done. It's going to smell finished. If you're a cook, you know how things will smell when it's done, right? You know how things should smell. But because I do it for so many years, and I'm pretty much like I'm a cook. I can cook anything for you. I can cook and bake anything for you. Trust me, I can do it. when that thing is finished simmering down and start frying down nicely, and you get the whiff of the odor that comes out of it. Oh man, people are gonna think you're cooking some pork chops or something. They're gonna think it's some beef you're cooking or some meat stuff in there. But when they come in there and they eat that thing, their brain is gonna play games with them, because they're gonna think it's some kind of meat. Many times I've had that, and what I do when I finish with that, I just put it in the fridge, cool it, put it in the fridge, and I would eat it just like that. Just like that, not cold, but just like that. But if I want, I just warm up some and I eat. There are people who came and ate that for me. Lots of people. And they would say to me, Doc, I thought you vegetarian. How come you eating beef, man? How would you? You eating pork? Doc, I didn't know you eat pork. They're telling me that I'm eating beef and pork when they eat that. And they can't tell the difference. If you cook it right, my friends, you can't tell the difference. Because it's nice and chewy and tender, just like the real deal. Yeah, man. So you got two today, right? So me, I give you the third one. The third one is the cake. The cake is big. Christmas Eve day, it's big cake. You can get the cake later, right? But I will give you the cake later. But I know my operator gonna put those recipes up there for y'all to see, right? But that's okay. It's all right, no problem. Now, I got a video I want to show you, and I can't believe the time is going. my lady will put it on for you, and I think I let her just show both of them at the same time. This is one about diabetes, and it's very beneficial, very helpful. So pay attention to it, and then when these are done, we're gonna take some calls and see if we can answer some questions. Okay? You stay tuned.
I am Brooklyn Ball President Eric Adams, and I'm really joined by the true heroes and sheroes. I went to the doctor. He stated, Eric, your diabetes is at a dangerous level. Got to put you on insulin right away. I had nerve damage in my hands and feet. I lost a lot of my feeling on my right thigh from nerve damage. And during that same time, I was losing sight in my left eye, and the right eye was going out also. And so little did I know that all of those symptoms were indicators that the diabetes had reached a very dangerous level. I don't think anything is more frightening than waking up and you can no longer see the alarm clock. I started out my public service career as a member of the New York City Police Department. I think I had probably the typical police/politician diet. And, you know, I love to always end the rumor right away that says cops love donuts. That is not a rumor, it's a fact. I ate all types of donuts, from jelly to cream to glaze. I always exercised, but my diet was horrendous. On the move, as an elected official, as a police officer, I did steady midnight, so it was difficult to find things that were open late at night. So whatever I could get, I would grab and just munch on. Bad food habits. What was amazing is that not one doctor that I visited said anything about nutrition and food. Donuts. That is not a rumor, it's a fact. I eat all types of donuts, jelly, cream, glaze. I always exercise. Folks Over Nine plan was just so helpful when I read the entire book, and I needed that plan. Cleaning out my cupboard, what to remove, looking at the list of things that you can eat, understanding the power of foods and what they do. And all of that information just made me so smart. Not one doctor that I visited said anything about nutrition. In 3 weeks, my eyesight cleared up when I changed my diet. In 3 months, all the nerve damage was gone, the ulcer was gone, all of those symptoms that I had associated with my diabetes disappeared.
How old are you again?
57.
And you have the kidney function of a 30-year-old. Your sugars look good. They're normal. Your 3-month sugar, your A1C, has gone from 17 to 5.7. And that's now with no medication. Your inflammation is non-existent. And inflammation is a key factor also in diabetes and the risk for heart attack.
In the past, my entire meal was built around my life. Now my life is built around my meal. I chop up my kale, my carrots, my other items that I'm going to use. I leave them in bags in the fridge. And so when it's time for me to make a meal, I just take a handful of each and put it all together. 90% of the things that I eat is because I cook. I'm in control of what I eat, and no one else is in control of it. It's so important for me to keep my energy levels up. Early today, I had a protest with private housing, that people were being left out. Then I had a meeting in public housing, and some public residents was having a problem. Then I have my staff meeting with my team and keep them abreast. I have a public event tonight with those who want to look at vegan/plant-based lifestyle. I have 2 dinners that I have to attend to actually entertain my Chinese guests that came from out of the country. So if my energy level is not up, I'm not able to deal with the issues that people are having and continue to build those international bridges that I look to do. We can save more lives with a plant-based diet if people will only realize they are enslaved to fats, oil, sugar, and things that are killing their body.
And we're going to make sure that we allow our children to have healthy food. It's not a motto, it's a reality. We're going to raise healthy children and families in the borough of Brooklyn and in the city of New York.
When you have a chronic disease, it cripples your entire family. And if I could teach families how not to go through that and just experience life where their family members are not experiencing Alzheimer's, where grandparents can't identify their grandkids, and families are going through chemotherapy, and mothers are dealing with asthma. If I can do that, if I can change that, that is the end of the chapter. And I mean, I had a great life.
Okay, I guess you enjoyed that. I hope that it was very informative, and I hope that you apply it. You know, this is nothing new, because I've been saying what he's saying there, or what he said there for donkey years, as he said, you know, let your foods be your medicines and your medicines be your foods. It's not joke, it's not just a say, it's not just a phrase, you know, it's a fact. Your foods that you eat should be like medicines to your body. And if you do that within the limits of your health, of your state of health, my friends, there's no disease that can hardly touch you. No disease. You know, so that is fact, and you can overcome. You weren't born with diabetes, you don't have to die with it. You know, there's stories about hypertension, the same thing. If you do the right things with your diet, those diseases will not affect you, my friends. So there you had it. You know, my buddy just sent me something, and I want you to write it down, right? This is going to be something that you write down, okay? This is about today, right? Now, these kids, maybe all the children, you know, all of you, get a pen and paper and write this down, because it doesn't happen, you know, maybe sometimes in years or a lifetime, right? Put on 1, and then 2, after the 1, 2, 0, 2, and then 2, and then 0, and 2 again, and 1. I'll repeat it, right? 1, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1. Look at those numbers and see what you got. It doesn't happen often. Look at it. And you can turn it any way you want. You can turn it upside down. You could turn it and look down at it. You could turn it anyhow, and the numbers will remain in the same order. Right? You can look it up and see what that means. I'll say it again. Write it down. 1, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1. Look at it and twist it and turn any way you want. Those numbers will be in the same order. Only today. Alright? Okay, I want to open up the lines and take a few calls. Don't know if we could do that, my operator. We got about 15 minutes. And I want to give people an opportunity if they want to make a call and you know, say something or you know, wish something or share something that's good. You know, you can do that. You can do that. I'm asking my operator to put the number on the screen, and you know, she's going to get in gear there and see how best we can take these calls and try to answer them. right? So, as we move along, in a few more days, my friends, it's going to be Christmas. If you like it or not, in a few more days. And then a few more days after that, it's going to be 2022. And many of you have not achieved anything all year. Many of you have not achieved anything all year. What are you waiting for? Phone is ringing. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, Dr. Haynes.
Good evening.
I had a ECG, and what it's reading is at the borderline. What at the borderline is telling me?
It's not at the borderline. It's borderline, right?
Borderline,
Borderline means that you're at the verge of crossing over into the disease state. You're on the verge of crossing over to the disease state, whatever it is, you're at the borderline of. If it's you're borderline hypertensive, borderline diabetic, borderline whatever it is, if it says borderline, it means that if you do a little more of something wrong, you're going to go right into that mode where you're affected by the condition. That's what that means.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I hope that solves your question. That was a pretty, it's a good question actually, because many persons are told that they're pre this and they're borderline that, and you're like pre-diabetic and pre-hypertensive, and you're on the verge of this or the borderline of that, and people don't know what they mean. You know, they think, when you hear borderline, you're thinking, oh, the Canadian border or the Venezuelan border, right? It means a similar thing. You're at the borderline, the Venezuelan borderline. That means that if you cross over, you're in Venezuelan territory, right? Or if you cross over, you're in Guyana territory. So, borderline just means that, okay? As I was saying, many persons would have spent the entire year wishing that something happened, wishing they can do things, wishing that this can happen for them or that can happen for them, and have not made a single effort to try to achieve what can happen for them. So how you expect it to happen if you don't make the effort? You can't just make it happen. You can't just wish it to happen. You have to get up and get going. Ask yourself the question, what have I achieved in 2021? Ask yourself the question. I am telling myself that I didn't have enough time in 2021 to do everything I want to do. There's so much that I did and so much that I still want to do. I don't have enough days left in 2021 to do everything I say I'm going to do in 2021. I did a lot though. I did more than the average person. You know? So get up. You still have a few days. Get up and get going, man. And do something. You know? Don't just wish that it can happen. Do it. Do it. Right? I also want you to remember, as the holidays approach, that you still need to be careful in whatever you do in your movements. You still need to wear a mask. I don't care if corona or not. When you're in the midst of people, wear the mask. Let it become a part of your dress wear. Because not only are you preventing a virus from entering your system, you have to wear the right mask too, the N95 mask. Not all face coverings can protect you from viruses. I see many persons are wearing the surgical mask, which is the blue one. You know? The surgical mask is exactly what it says. It's not the antiviral mask. It doesn't protect you from viruses. So many of you are saying, but I just wear a mask, you know, I get up. The mask you're wearing is porous. You cannot see a virus. You can't see it. So if you can't see the virus, what the thing will protect you? It's not designed for that. So get the N95 mask. If you don't know where to find it, go to the health center, go to the health and wellness center, go to they're there. The N95 mask is one that can protect you from viruses. Not the face coverings, unless you make it so layered that difficult as it comes through, you can trap it, right? If you can smell smoke with the mask, you sure can be affected by the virus. You sure can. So get the right mask, get going with something, do something. And then as you go into the holidays, many of you are consumers of excessive alcohol. Many of you consume a lot of alcohol around the Christmas holiday. You have to start thinking, number one, what is it doing to my body? Number one. Number two, what good is it doing to me? When I use that alcohol, what good is it doing to me? Number three, what is it doing to my condition? Is it making it better or is it making it worse? In all instances, it's making it worse. So you gotta be thinking, when the holiday season approaches nearer and nearer, you gotta be thinking, am I diabetic? Am I hypertensive? Should I be eating this? Or if I should eat this, should I be eating so much? Should I be drinking so much? Should I really consume any alcohol? What is it doing to my pancreas? What is it doing to my liver? What is it doing to my brain? Think. Because after the holidays, there's life. You still have to live again. And what you do during the holidays will determine what happens to you after the holidays. It's like that. You see? So I am just trying to advise you, if you need any help, the clinic is there. We've got a pretty good, trained, knowledgeable staff in Joy and Oliver. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, we're willing to do it. Our job, our purpose there is to try to save you from the wrath of whatever it is that you have. You can't save everybody. You say, you go to the clinic there, you gotta spend so much money, this, that, the other, you gotta wait so long. Well, try to be very, very thorough. That's what we do here. It's build those shelves. We have to pay shipping and duty, so we have to get it back somehow. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, Dr. Haynes.
All
What
right.
if you double the mask, the surgical mask, if you double it? Would it work?
If you can smell smoke through it, it ain't working. You understand what I'm saying? If you can double it or triple it and you can still smell smoke, it ain't working.
Okay, Dr. Haynes, thank you.
You're welcome. It's not the right one. It's not designed for that purpose. So don't waste your money and buy it. It's a surgical mask and it can protect you from particles, maybe dust and so, but it's not designed to protect you from viruses, all right? I see most people wearing those things. Those things are not designed for the purpose intended. That's why we find so many people with so many things, so many viruses still, and they say, but I wear a mask. All the time I got on a mask. Never mind that they're wrong, the people I wear a mask. Well, look at the mask you're wearing. It's not protecting you from viruses. It doesn't work. Not designed for that. Okay? Yeah, so I just want to encourage you to know that coronavirus doesn't have to kill you. What kills you is not the coronavirus, it's conditions that you have, that you were exposed, that maybe it worsened conditions and your organs failed. What's killing people is the things that are getting into your body system that is complicating matters. I'm saying to you, take a look at your health, get an analysis, get a screening done, go to the clinic, make an appointment, Get it done so you know the status of your body. It may cost you a little bit one time, but at least you'll know what is happening inside of you. And you can take steps. Even if you can't afford to get the medicines, at least find out what is wrong with you. That way you know that you should be eating better, you should be eating smarter, you should be not eating this or that. Because when you get the screening, you're going to get all of that information. What you need to avoid, or whatever conditions, whatever viruses, whatever bacteria, everything. Good evening. Good evening. I said it twice. I said it again. Good evening. Good evening to you.
Is this Dr. Ains program?
Go ahead.
Is this Dr. Ains program?
Please go ahead. Don't listen to your radio or your television. Listen to the voice on your phone. Go ahead.
Honey?
Speak. Go ahead. Speak. You're on to the program. Yes.
Doc?
Please speak. I'm hearing you. I don't think she's doing what we say. You don't need to listen to your phone when you call. You don't need to listen to your television when you call. Listen to your phone. Because the television may have a little delay and you may not think that you're online. Listen to your phone when you call, not your television. Alright? You turn it and you listen to your phone. Okay? Anyhow, the other thing that I want to talk to you about quickly, many persons burn things. They burn a lot of stuff in the backyard, you know, and that's because of the garbage system we have. Many persons cannot get rid of the garbage because nobody picks it up, right? So they burn it. When you burn all that garbage in the backyard, even your own self, it's affecting. You know, find it bury and not burn. Good evening. Good evening. Well, we don't know what's happening with the calls, but some people got through and some are not.
Can we hear us?
Good evening.
Hello?
Can you speak? We're hearing you.
Good night.
Go ahead and speak. Go ahead. I don't know what is happening, but we're trying. Listen, when you call, talk, because we're hearing you. We're hearing you. Just say good evening and get into your conversation, whatever it is you want to say, because we are hearing you. Okay? Good evening.
Good night.
Good night. Go ahead and speak.
Hello? Not hearing anybody.
Go ahead and speak. We can hear you.
Good night, Dr. Hill. I just called
I'm
to
hearing
say,
you. Good night.
I just called to say, even with the study, all okay, you know, I mean, we live to see next year with good health.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that very good. I didn't hear that. I wish I knew what she said, but maybe everybody heard it and maybe it's something good. Right? I just hope so. I didn't really hear it. Maybe when I play it back, I'll hear it. But we're having a little bit of, maybe a few problems. And we're hoping that we're going to correct that in the new year. So, seasons, my operator said, season greetings to everybody in Guyana, all right? Many happy returns to you, and we want to wish you all a very pleasant and successful, healthy holiday season. Right? It's not easy. We know it's tough, but hang in there and just do your best. You know, try to help one another. Don't bash one another. Keep the smoke from the backyard. You know, stop burning things in the backyard and bury it. If you can't, if the garbage truck isn't coming up, then you want to bury your garbage. You know, just get a hole and bury it. Don't burn it. And we're hoping that somehow all this situation with garbage and the drainage and everything else, you know, hopefully will be resolved in our lifetime. You know, so we just want to encourage you. So, you know, hang in there and do your part. Do good. Do your part and do good. All right. And I want you to stay plugged in, stay tuned in to the channel because it's safe and anyone can watch it. And the news is coming up next. So don't turn the dial because the news may be something that you need to know. Okay? I'm sorry we had the problems with the calls and so on, but we're going to work on that. And I'm going to send a number to my operator. If you have internet service, you can call and right? Okay, my operator says we will take this one call. Let's hope we can hear this person. Good evening.
Hi, good night,
Good evening.
Tom. Rakim.
Good night to you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, speak.
Hello?
I don't know what's happening, but I'm hearing you. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, Rakim, good night.
Good night.
I'm a glaucoma patient, and I'm struggling with eye pressure. So I want to know if there's any treatment or any herbal treatment that you could use to control it.
All right. Well, I can answer that on the air. I'm not sure about the herbal treatments. I am certain that there are lots of natural treatments that can be used, including herbal treatments that are known. To find the herbal treatments, you may have to consult a herbalist. I'm what's called a naturopath, and I would consult in both areas. But of course, there are a number of things that can be taken to normalize the pressure and the sugar.
Yeah.
However, the diet is the key, right? Come off of the fats, come off of the salts, come off of the sugars, right? Diabetes is not just about sugar.
Yes, sir.
It's also about fats. All right? So what's the fats, what's the salts, and what's the sugars? And also, make sure that you're cleansing and removing matter that is in your system that needs to be cleansed and removed. Because as you retain and as you store, you reabsorb. And some of what you reabsorb is not what you need.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Just like we get rid of the waste matter, from our homes, get rid of the waste matter from your body. That way you can be cleansed and your body can recycle and you can utilize and you can overcome. You can't overcome when you're loaded with garbage, right?
Yes,
Same
sir.
with your body. If your body is loaded with toxins, you're gonna have a difficult time overcoming. Okay?
Okay, sir. Oh, thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling. Okay?
Yeah, man.
And this is not just for hypertension and diabetes. This is for everything. This is for cancer. This is for all those bronchial problems you're having. You've got to detoxify, you've got to enhance your immune system, and you've got to take what is necessary as foods to help to remove what is not wanted by your body. Let your foods be your medicines and your medicines be your foods. And the last thing I want to tell you tonight is what I say all the time. Stop digging your graves with your teeth and eating yourselves into your graves. Because that's what a lot of people are doing. They're digging their graves with their teeth and they're eating themselves into their graves. Right? Stop doing that. Don't become a victim by your foods, by your habits. Okay? Thanks for looking. Thanks for listening. Thanks for participating. We're sorry we didn't get through to everybody or everyone. But stay tuned. And next week we're going to give the other formula for the cake, which is very tasty. And anyone can eat the pepper pot, the garlic chunks, and the cake. All right. Thank you once again. Be safe, be careful, and be good to your neighbors. Talk to you
Looking
saying
for a
good night.
place for the whole family? Come
bless you.
down to the Toucan
And
Mall in
so long.
Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.